Good morning, Nell. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you today, Tricia?
I'm doing pretty good. Coming off of a little bit of a little vacation. Um, and well, you're still on vacation, so this is kind of a cool little time to check in. Um, I've been watching the news and things are starting to open back up. And and just kind of feeling like I have kind of torn feelings about it. And I'm feeling like I need to, dive in and dig in and say, to myself, wow, how do I really feel about some of these things? Because I've become kind of comfortable with a lot of the new things like the social distancing. I love it. I like my personal space. I mean, you know that about me. I love my personal space. So, I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like there's some things that, you know, I if they go away, I might miss about, being in quarantine. And there's just a lot of things, kind of swarming around in my brain. I don't know. How are you feeling about where we're at in this stuff today?
I as well have some mixed emotions about things reopening. And I think there's times where it's really inconvenient that everything is closed, but like you said, it's having the space and the time for the world to slow down. I think I'm gonna miss, my habits of having my day more available and spread out. So some of these things that I've been working on that have been a little bit more slow moving, I have been able to really organize and get a good routine of like doing just household chores, doing the dishes like twice a day makes such a huge difference in my internal, like, just I don't feel as anxious like there's all this stuff to do because I have time to do it right now basically. And when I'm out being doing life and being out and adventurous, meeting up with friends, being in program, going to meetings, fellowship, all of that, by the time I get home, I'm like, maybe I don't have to do that right now. And sometimes that's exactly what I need to be able to just not worry about it and let it go. But like, I'm really recognizing what an impact having a schedule and a routine of doing these little small things, making my bed, vacuuming. Oh
Right?
my gosh, I feel so much better after I vacuum. And it's something that I just put off, you know, more often than I'd like to. So yeah, basically like being able to develop my own routine of self-care, caring for my home. I'm gonna really miss this time with my partner. I mean, it's been just a dream to have um, him home all the time because he works 9 to 5 usually. So, we've gotten closer during quarantine. We've worked through some of our hiccups in our relationship, and it's been a really positive space for us to learn and grow from each other. Um, so, I think also the state of the world where I feel like people are more compassionate towards each other right now. People are more patient with each other right now.
For
People are
sure.
considerate. People are aware. And I can't only feel like we might lose touch with that once things go back to normal. And really, what does normal even mean? For me, my normal, it's always growing and changing and shifting. Like, it's always developing, and new dilemmas bring me to new places. So I don't know, there's a lot of feelings there.
I totally can relate to that, especially about, the time with the partner, and that about me, our relationship in 20 years, we've never spent so much time together, and it's been amazing. And, but that relaxed, not hurried, trying to get from this meeting to that meeting to this networking event or this speaking event or this client session or whatever it is, like I'm really enjoying and highly contemplating leaving a lot of things the same. And I feel like I have the autonomy to do so. And I love that. It's taken me a long time to get to that, because, I'm used to, going out every day, doing whatever the errand is that needs to be done, or, going to see whoever needs to be seen, and this, that, and the other thing, right? That go, got to get from here to here to here to here. And so I like being able to intuitively think about what I want to feel like in my day. And do I want that to be hurried and rushed, or do I want that to be slow paced? Because even, in a home office setting, it can be hurried and rushed. So I'm just really enjoying having the ability to, structure my days in a fashion that says, this is my time and space for doing things out in the world. And then when I'm going out in the world, having it be that newfound compassion and space that everybody is affording each other. And I actually said that the other day at the grocery store to some of the workers. I'm like, I love this. Can it just stay like this forever? Because personal space is important to me. And when you've got people, rushing around you and you feel like you're in the way, like, it's just not fun. And it's been, oddly enough, it's just been a whole lot more relaxed going out and shopping. But it's also helped with disciplines of impulsive shopping and going, you know what? I just feel like, going out and I'm just buying whatever. And so it's really cut back on a lot of that. So I've found a whole new discipline with a lot of things as well. And so I think where I'm at right now is, wow, how can I work and become focused in whatever the new normal is? Because I don't think it's going to go back to, because we don't ever get to go back in time. But, as we go forward and things loosen up and we can go to the hair salon and we can, this, that, and the other thing, because that's coming back. How can we take a look at, wow, we did without this for this long. One, how much money can we save? But how can we keep the things that we love about this going forward and or incorporate it as some of those expectations for outside of the home start to return? Does that make sense?
It 100% makes sense to me. Just a really easy example for me is going to the nail salon. I spend at least $100 a month on nails. And you know what? I spend $100 on looking up what like the best salon quality like stuff is, like dipping powder and all that. So I just bought all my own stuff, and I've been practicing, and I'm like, I don't even need to go back to the salon. And every time I do it, I get faster. So like little things like that, like doing things that I didn't think I could do. Like I was like, I have to have them do it, because if, otherwise it's just going to turn out not looking well. And that's something as part of my self-care that I do, because it just makes me feel a little bit more put together. And, it's just for me. But that's one thing, and making even like the bedding for my rabbit. I learned how to go in and use like newspaper, I learned how to make the same exact kind of bedding that I spend money on every month. So little things that are just, you said, like, you think they're so necessary, so essential. And then when your essentials are really put in front of you in a situation like this, it's just, where can I make sacrifices? One thing too is I have a lot of food. I have a lot of dietary restrictions. So the grocery store can bring on, certain amount of anxiety, because they're very, it's in everything, I can't have corn. Basically, it's just what I'm allergic to is in everything. And so I'm very particular about what I buy. Like, I want this and this and this, because it's taking me a lot of time to get there. But like I said, I'm always growing and developing, and where I see here is even where I can make little sacrifices on like what I am picking up and what I am buying, because there just simply isn't, it's just not on the shelf. Right. So I have to go for the next best thing. And you know what? I just let it go and grab the next best thing. And I'm not like, you know, instead of organic peanut butter, it's all off the shelf. So you know what, get the Skippy this time. Which, yeah, still has stuff I'm allergic to. Like I said, you got to make certain sacrifices. I just try to do the best I can, and also try to let go of really what's not in my control.
Right. Well, and in that respect, I found when you talk about food, like I've gone through, I did really, really well at the beginning, and just, you know, sticking to, you know, my normal routine. And then, you know, as we ran out of our normal foods and went and found the scarcity, you know, then I ended up, you know, just, you know, eating things that were more available, right? And incorporating foods in, and I don't have the allergies like you do, so it's not quite as an issue, but it does cause me some, you know, health issues and inflammation and, you know, just different issues. But, you know, now I'm kind of I'm seeing now that people aren't fear-based buying, you know, overstocking and, you know, things like that. I'm seeing that a lot of the products are coming back, but I'm still learning that, you know, there's a balance in there of how to, you know, make do when there isn't everything that you need. So I've learned how to, you know, stretch some things a little bit, and I've learned how to, you know, appreciate things a little bit more. And then also, you know, cross product, you know, because we can become like addicted to that one kind of peanut butter. I'm totally guilty of that, right? Like it becomes that obsession. Like I have to have this one particular yogurt, you know, or whatever. And really I don't, you know, it's, I can have something that's similar. I can, you know, I can add, edit, delete, which of course we know is like super important to be able to do. But also, you know, realizing and finding that validation in the way that I've come to live my life with regard to my relationship with food, my relationship with my body image, the dietary practices, and you know, physical activity. You know, that's one of the things I get really afraid of, is that sedentary place that comes along with the shelter in place. So, you know, making sure that I'm not sitting too long. Like this is probably the only time that I'm going to sit today, because it's early. And then so after this, I'm going to be getting up and, you know, standing. But, you know, just again, looking at all of those things and saying, how am I going to, you know, make sure that I hold on to those things that are important? And I think I kind of got off on a little, you know, spin wheel there, but, you know, validating those things that were important before that maybe slipped away during the quarantine time, and those things that were brought in and wanting to hold on to. It's just so, it's such a crucial time right now because we're shifting again and things are open. And so I just want to go forward and not be fearful. Like my hairdresser, she may, or, you know, they're going to be meeting this week, and she doesn't really like the whole mask thing. Like you know, and I get it. Not everybody does. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what regulations and things get put in place, and, you know, how those protective things go. But I'm also like you, like going to the nail salon's never been my favorite thing. It's just something that I've always done, and I've gone without now. I'd say pedicures I probably miss more than the nails, but I did my own. They don't look that great, but I did do my own finally this weekend. And they're good enough, right? Mm-hmm. They serve the purpose. And, you know, so there's things that, like, I'm saving a ton of money right now, not going to the nail salon every 3 weeks, not going to get my eyelashes done every other week, and not getting my hair done every 5 weeks. Like, that's a ton of money. So I'm really interested to see how I can keep it at like a more spread out stance, and what things I will reincorporate first and what things I won't. Because it's a little scary. Yeah.
Yeah, I had something to say about oh, I don't know. It'll come back to me. But yeah, you made some really good points. Yeah, I wish I could remember the thought, but it's gone.
It's okay. I think we probably, you know, um, gave ourselves a lot to think about for this week. And
I do remember.
yeah.
So you mentioned that, today this is your time sitting. Um, and that's, one thing. I live in an area in Lake Tahoe where I'm the backyard, it's social distance city. You can just run out into the woods, which is what I did for my birthday. Had the best time just on the river. Everybody's camp, was way spread out. So you had this really, it felt like you were out alone in the woods, but then you also knew there's a campfire a little bit down. So if anything happened, but yeah, so I have all this availability to do my favorite things, to go out and do recreation, fishing, paddleboarding, hiking. Um, so I would like to keep that incorporated. I don't know if I can get to some adventure type activity every day, but I think it's really important to find time to schedule that recreation time into my life, because it's not just, oh, I'm just going to have fun because I have nothing else to do. It's like, no, I have all this stuff to do, so I really need to set some time aside for myself to have some fun, let go, and just even turn off my phone and just get out into the woods. So I know that that is not always an availability to everybody out there, but I would just encourage to find some type of just a little outing, it's a little drive out to a meadow and just doing some journaling outside. Being outside, it's so important for us as humans. I mean, we come from our ancestry. We lived in the woods and slept on the ground, and we're so much more connected with our planet, and in turn, having that awareness that I think right now we're feeling as a collective. So an example is just sleeping here up in Idaho. I'm in a little cabin. It's really low to the floor, and my mattress is actually on the floor. So I'm really close to the actual physical ground. I sleep better. I wake up feeling more refreshed. I don't wake up at the little sound of everything. And I'm like, what is different between here and when I'm at my house in Tahoe, which is I'm 3 stories above, the ground, and my bed is a high bed. And, I did some research in my eco psychology project where it's as the closer that we can get to that earth, the closer we feel to our center. So, I'm not asking everybody to go out and sleep on the dirt, because that's not but I would say having that little connection with some piece of the outdoors, whether it be walking out there or just sitting out there. I just would really like to maintain that routine in my life to the extent we can.
That is one, that's awesome. That is I hadn't really thought of that, the proximity of the bed to the floor. And it's making me want to do some observations, because just personal observations of my own sleep habits and routines, and the difference between those days when I've had time to be outside and connected to the to the earth and to my property and to, just all of it, versus those days where I find oh my God, I haven't left the house all day, and how I sleep. So cool beans. Thank you so much, because I'm now going to look for something that's going to help me improve my life even further. Because generally when I go outside, I do sit, either, on a step that's, right above the ground. And I spend time, sitting with the dogs and whatnot, and getting close to earth. And I really enjoy that time, and I love that time. But, again, working from home now primarily versus going to the office where, I didn't even have any external windows. Now all day long, and, all I have to do is turn and look. And right now I'm seeing the fog roll in. So sometimes I forget to actually go out the door and connect. And I can feel that when 3-4 o'clock rolls around and I haven't ventured out other than to just take the dogs out for a quick bathroom break. So thank you. I'm definitely going to do that personal observation. But also, like you were saying, you have that right out your back door. And at the beginning, I felt super lucky because I do have property. But one of the things that I am missing is my extracurricular, those bike rides on the trail and those hikes that we had started doing every weekend together as a couple and going from one trail to the next. And then as they closed them because of, the ones we liked, didn't really have a lot of social distancing space. But, it's one of the things over the last few weeks we've been trying to reincorporate, which is to get back out and hike. And it's something that I've really been missing. And I also notice it. The motivation to do that had shifted with that little bit of dietary shifting that I had to make there for a few weeks. Had to / just did. Because, I let sugar kind of creep back in for my birthday and for Mother's Day and for this last holiday. Yeah, got to let that go because it's super inflammatory and super addictive. So, I'm definitely looking at that. So I love that you brought up that, that connection, because not everybody has that level of knowledge and understanding like you do as far as connection with the earth. But I think if everybody would just take some time and be willing to observe and be open and willing to receive, like I'm saying, you know what, I've got to do that observation because I don't have that same training or spiritual connection like you do, or at the level you do. I have it, but it's not there. Like I have to work at it. And I think that's totally okay. And I think it's totally okay to be able to say it out loud too. Mm-hmm. Everybody's got that different connection level, and different, spiritual needs and feelings and thoughts and all of the things. So that was awesome. I'm super excited and inspired now. So thank you. But so I think we've got some really good things to look at and kind of plan out, and maybe circle back around next week and talk about like our findings, like what did we decide to, note and hold on to and make sure we incorporate going forward, and what things are we going to try to continue holding off on or back on, and what are our plans for, maintaining our relationships that we both have now gotten super spoiled with that closeness and that connection. And then also I think, taking a look at our safety, our feelings or fear of reintegrating in face-to-face interactions with our social circles again. Because, you have a strong connection with your, meetings and groups in your area. I haven't been going to mine either. I generally am, quite connected with, the community functions that go on in the chamber and, things like that. And just meeting with the women's groups and whatnot. Like I haven't been doing that. I'm starting to miss it. And so anyway, I'm looking forward to, over the course of this week and next week, really looking at what we might, what we come up with from this. So I'm super glad that, we recorded it so that we can actually reflect back on it also.
Yeah, I'd like to make another reflection about, having this time with my partner, and I just get everything I want right now, basically, because I'm not having to incorporate other people. I incorporate my partner's needs, but I feel a little kind of like a spoiled kid in a way, because like I won't get my way and I'll be like, but then I'll be like, this has nothing to do with anybody but myself. So it's anything, it's like really like maybe me being a little, I do feel the codependency around my family, especially around my dad, who I'm with right now. And so I need to make some observations on what is essential to engage in and what is necessary to hold back, especially when you're trying to be compassionate with other people and make compromises and, just tell myself not to say something, and I will. Like, my dad has taken a nap and he started up the lawnmower right next to my window. I was like, it's fine. He's just doing his thing. He's not doing it on purpose. And what's the first thing I say when I go outside? I'm like, why are you starting? And I just, it's just verbal vomit. Like, you're like, no, I didn't mean to say that. Just get back in there. But so those are really good observations for me, and to really pick my battles. I guess one thing quarantine is helping me see what's essential to really notice in myself, and what's essential for me to communicate with other people.
Yeah.
For me to communicate every little thing that's going on with certain people, that's where I have other support systems to tap into. Like, ooh, this is really getting to me. Let me talk to somebody who's not in my personal space, really. Like, not right here where my perspective can be opened up some more. So that's where I think having the support system, where I do have my family, my partner, and then I have my professionals, and then I have my fellowship. So I really have all these places to take all these different things to. I just need to figure out the right boxes for them at the right time.
That's the tricky part, right?
Pausing, backing up, just being like, okay, let me observe, my locus of control here. Where am I being attacked? So I just to acknowledge also in these forums that I have rough days. I have days where I say and do things that I'm like, that's not what, I'm working on this. And that's okay that I make these mistakes, because that's how I learn. That's how I'm going to continue to face these dilemmas and mature and grow from them. So I try to have the perspective that these challenges are just more like opportunities, but at the time they can feel challenging.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And again, just something else for everybody, I think, to observe. You just taking a look. If we just slow down and we look at how much of this is for me, how much of it is about me, and how much of it is for or about the other person or the other people or the other situation, the whatever it is that's outside of ourselves. And then we, just work on our own camp, like just do my own stuff and only worry about my stuff. And, realize that, it can look, feel, and be however we want and or need it to be. But we have to also remember that other people have the autonomy for theirs to look, feel, and be however they want it to be. Mm-hmm. And just always looking at, is what I need to say appropriate for the space that I'm in, and seeking out that, you're the right group, the right person, the right space, whatever it might be, to share, to work on, to whatever, right? Like in our weekly groups, we have specific topics, and that's where we talk about our life skills. It's where we develop, that fine tuning of, God, why am I so reactive? And working on finding out why. And then, we have networking groups, and that's where we talk about, just ways to collaborate with people and to support each other and be community and to be loving and caring and generous and open and honest with other people. And, and we have our family. And if we're not careful, we bring a baggage or junk from the outside world into our family unit, and that can be derailing. But sometimes also, because we're a family unit, we feel like we ought to all think and feel and be the same way. And so when everybody's not agreeing with, it can be super prompting to be knee jerk. And I think, it's super important that we always are looking at, wow, we may be a family unit. We all may come from the same thread, but we are still all super unique little amoebas out there, growing and becoming our own little unit. And so, just being a learner instead of a judger is something that I have to work on all the time, especially when it comes to other people. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing this with me today. Like, this is this is a new way for us to connect and share and just, continue to just kind of, with the distance, to be able to, I just love knowing where my teammates are and how they're doing and what they're doing and how they're working on things. And it's just so amazing to just have a little personal space, just one-on-one. And I really appreciate you.
I appreciate you. I am pretty grateful for the online platform too, because I am in Idaho right now and I can tune in. I'm be back in my office, for probably most of the videos, but it's just such a blessing to be able to tune in here when I'm, so far away from home. But that's the beauty of this new platform of seeing face to face right here in my cabin.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I know, I've been totally enjoying it. Maybe one day I'll actually travel again and I'll be able to test it out from the other direction.
Yeah.
So awesome. I will chat with you again next week. Obviously, we'll probably, see each other again here, well, in a couple of days, actually. So safe travels back home. Thank you so much again, and enjoy.
Thanks for inviting me this morning. I hope you have a wonderful day getting out, doing whatever you're doing.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye. Bye, everybody.